Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Bhagopal, Singhadev, Jagannath, Brother Shubhra, Gaunitai, Tulsi Mahani, Haridas Thakur, Tulsi, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So today we continuing on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Canto, chapter number 23. And it is entitled The Song of Avanti Brahman. This chapter tells the story of a mendicant sannyasi from the Avanti country. And that's the same country as Sandipani Muni, Ujjain. Yeah. As an example of how one should tolerate the disturbances and offenses created by evil persons. So this is a very nice chapter. It gives a lot of wonderful instructions about tolerance. And tolerance is such an important thing because nowadays nobody can tolerate anything, but we have to learn to tolerate. Lord Mukund was pleased with Uddhav, and he said, there is virtually no saintly man in this world capable of resettling his own mind after it has been disturbed by the insulting words of uncivilized men. So when we are insulted, it's very hard to settle the mind down, right? Even a saintly person, Krishna is saying here, virtually no saintly person in this world is capable of settling the mind. Sharp arrows which pierce one's chest and reach the heart do not cause as much suffering as the arrows of harsh, insulting words that become lodged within the heart when spoken by uncivilized men. Right? So we know we have this experience, I'm sure. Somebody says horrible to us, we'll remember that for a very long time. On the other hand, we may have broken a foot or had a knee operation or two, and we recover from that after a month or two or 3 or 4. But to recover from harsh words spoken to us, that's very hard. It takes a very, very long time, if it's possible at all in this lifetime. Yet a mendicant Brahman from the city of Avanti, even while being attacked by wicked men, considered this trouble to be simply the consequence of his own past deeds and tolerated it. So this is the trick. Krishna has given the solution immediately, that if we just remember somebody's insulted us, well, we may have deserved that because of something we've done in the past. And we can't remember what we've done because it may have been in a previous lifetime. But if we take that attitude, then we are able to tolerate that insult. Previously, the Brahman had been a rich agriculturalist and merchant. He had been extremely greedy, miserly, prone to anger. As a result, his wife, sons, daughters, relatives, and servants, as well as guests, were all deprived of every kind of enjoyment and gradually came to behave inimicably towards him. They didn't like him because he was not a nice person. The presiding deities of the 5 family sacrifices became angry at the Brahman, and due to his neglect of the demigods, he depleted his stock of piety and his wealth. So he was so horrible person that he lost all of his possessions. Right? Bad karma, bad behavior. Some of the wealth of this Brahmin was taken away by his relatives, some by thieves, some by providence, some by the effects of time, some by ordinary men, some by government authorities. Finally, when his property was completely lost, he who never engaged in religiosity or sense enjoyment, even, so he was not religious, but he also was not a sense enjoyer, he became ignored by his family members. Thus he began to feel unbearable anxiety, great pain and lamentation, having lost all his wealth. then a powerful feeling of renunciation came over him. So this can happen when we lose everything. Actually, it becomes a bit of a relief, because to have so many possessions, so much wealth, can be really quite stressful. So sometimes when this happens, you feel a great sense of relief and renunciation. His throat choked up with tears, he meditated for a long time on his fortune. He considered how the earnings and preservation of his wealth involved great effort, fear, anxiety, and confusion. He realized that he simply tormented himself uselessly, struggling so hard for money that was not even intended for religiosity or material enjoyment. He was just hoarding the wealth. The wealth of misers never allow them any happiness, causing self-torment in this life, and when they die, it sends them to hell. Whatever pure fame is possessed by the famous, and whatever praiseworthy qualities are found in the virtuous, are destroyed by even a small amount of greed. Just as one's attractive physical beauty is ruined by a trace of white leprosy. Because of wealth, there arises 15 unwanted items. So this wealth can attract the following: thievery, violence, lying, deception, lust, anger, pride, feverishness, disagreement, hatred, distrust, conflict, attachment to women, gambling, and intoxication. One desiring to achieve the real benefit of life should therefore remain aloof from undesirable material wealth. Close relatives will immediately break off their affectionate relationships and become enemies over a single coin. And we've seen this. We've heard this recently as well. Acting as rivals, they quickly give up all sentiments of goodwill and reject one at a moment's notice, even to the point of committing murder. One who fails to distribute his wealth to the proper shareholders, i.e., who are the shareholders? Demigods, devatas, sages, forefathers, even the ordinary living entities, as well as his immediate relatives, in-laws, and own self, will fall down. So we have debts. We have to pay those debts. Those who obtain human life, and especially as first-class Brahmins, are very fortunate. If they disregard this important opportunity, they are certainly killing their own self-interest and thus achieve a most unfortunate end. Discriminating persons are able to utilize their money, youth, strength to achieve perfection. But I have feverishly squandered these in pursuit of wealth. Now I am an old man. What can I achieve? So he's lamenting. He's wasted his whole life and he's old. When this meditation arose in his heart, the Brahman could understand that the Supreme Lord Sri Hari had somehow become satisfied with him and brought him to this suffering condition. This is a fantastic realization. Oh, I've lost everything. I'm not going to lament. I'm going to thank God because He has now opened my eyes through this suffering. So it's like somebody was saying to us, enjoy the pain when you're doing yoga. Enjoy the pain. So this is a bit like that. Forcing him to experiment detachment, which is the boat to carry him over the ocean of material life. He was grateful that a sense of detachment had arisen in his heart, and considering it the factual means for delivering himself. In this condition, he determined to engage the duration of his life in the worship of Lord Hari, and thus he accepted the mendicant order of Tridandi sannyas, reasoning that Maharaj Katvanga was able to achieve the spiritual world in a single moment. So there was a time when the demigods needed the help of Maharaj Katvanga, and he helped them. He fought. He was a great fighter. He fought and fought and fought. After the winning the battle against the demons, the demigods asked Maharaj Katvanga, "What would you like?" He said, "I want to know when will I die." And the demigod said, "You will die in a few moments." "Oh, in a few moments." So he sat in meditation, fixed his concentration on the Supreme Lord, and he achieved the spiritual world within a moment. So this Avanti Brahman thought about the same, doing the same, that in his last days, let him take sannyas, reject society. His mind thus determined that most excellent Avanti Brahman was able to untie the knots of desire within his heart. He then assumed the role of a peaceful and silent sannyasi mendicant. Subsequently, he would enter different villages to beg charity, but the people would harass and disturb him. But he simply tolerated all this, remaining firm as a mountain. He did not advertise his advanced spiritual position and thus was not recognized by others. Some of these persons would take away his sannyasi rod and some the water pot which he was using as a begging bowl. Some took his deerskin seat, some his chanting beads, some would steal his torn, ragged clothing. Displaying these things before him, they would pretend to offer them back, but would then hide them again. When he was sitting on the bank of a river, about to partake of the food that he had collected by his begging, such sinful rascals would come and pass urine on it, and they would dare to spit on his head. Wow. Although he had taken a vow of silence, they would try to make him speak, and if he did not speak, they would beat him with the sticks. Others would chastise him, saying, "This man is just a thief," and others would bind him up with rope, shouting, "Tie him up, tie him up." They would criticize and insult him, saying, "This man is such a hypocrite and a cheat. He makes a business of religion, simply because he lost all his wealth and his family threw him out. By practice of silence, he strives for his goal with great determination, just like a heron." Okay, so he was really, really tolerant. The Brahman understood that all of his suffering.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Pravin.
So who is this man you're talking about? Is it Krishna?
He's a Brahman who was a businessman, and this is from Ujjain.
Yeah,
And he lost everything.
yeah,
And then he decided, I will take sannyas. I will
yes.
give up everything, give up the family. And when he did that, and he was begging food, they would always be teasing him. And he was tolerating. He was not saying anything. He was not arguing back. He was not fighting back. So Krishna is giving this example of this Avanti Brahman, how we should also tolerate insults.
Yeah, you did say it earlier about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, carry on.
Thank you.
Hare
The
Krishna.
Brahman understood that all his suffering from other living beings, the higher forces of nature and his own body, was unavoidable, being allotted to him by providence or karma. When even while being insulted by these low-class men, he remained steady in his spiritual duties. This is very important and very interesting. Fixing his resolution in the mode of goodness, he began to chant the following song, renowned as the Bhikshu Gita. The Brahman, he said, "These people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. Neither are the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it is the mind alone that is causing happiness and distress. Because the mind is always figuring out duality, what is good, what is bad. So it's the mind which is causing this problem. Perpetuates the rotation of material life. The powerful mind activates the function of the material modes. From the activities in each of these modes develop the corresponding statuses of life. The supersoul present in my body is acting as my friend. He simply witnesses from his transcendental position. I, the infinitesimal spirit soul, on the other hand, have embraced this mind. So we have embraced this mind. Thus I become engaged in enjoying the objects of desire and am entangled. The real purpose of all charity, religiosity, etc., is to bring the mind under control. Indeed, concentration of the mind on the Supreme is the highest yoga. So this is actually yoga, which means we're connecting with God. If one's mind is perfectly fixed, then there is no need to perform ritualistic charity, etc. If one's mind is uncontrolled, then of what use are the engagements for him? All the senses have been under the control of the mind since time immemorial. The mind himself never comes under the sway of any other. He is stronger than the strongest, and his godlike power is fearsome. Anyone who can bring the mind under control becomes a master of the senses. So this is the advantage of controlling the mind. We can control our senses. We won't be uh, forced to go here and there, try to enjoy our tongue or try to see something beautiful, taste something beautiful all the time, or delicious. Failing to conquer the mind, many people are completely bewildered and create useless quarrel with others, conclude that other or neither others are not their friend or enemy. So they conclude that others are friends or enemy. People who identify with this body are blinded in their intelligence. Because of their illusion, they wander in endless darkness. Who are the cause of my happiness and distress? So he's now giving a little idea of, and they, because they affect the mind, and the mind is very uncontrolled. So people, why people? Due to the interactions of material bodies. Then when there is a place of the soul in such a conception, where is the place? So if we're always dealing with each other on the basis of material bodies, we don't even understand the soul. Next one is who is the cause. Demigods who rule the bodily senses cause suffering. How can such suffering apply to the spirit soul? It is merely interactions of the changeable senses and their presiding deities. When one limb of the body attacks another, how can the soul in that body be angry? Who can it be angry at? Third cause, planets. Can they be immediate cause of suffering and happiness? What is the relationship with the soul who is eternal? So none of these are actually cause of our happiness or distress. The effect of the planets apply only to things that have taken birth. Fruitive work is the cause of happiness and distress. The body has no life. It cannot be the actual recipient of happiness and distress. Because the body is simply made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. It is gross. It is not alive. The soul living in this body makes the body look alive. So nor can the soul who is completely, ultimately completely spiritual. Karma, that's another thing. So people, demigods, planets, karma. Karma thus has no ultimate basis in either the body or the soul. So who are we angry at? Who are we angry at, right? What about time? Is this a cause for happiness and distress? That experience still cannot apply to the spirit soul, since time is a manifestation of the Lord's spiritual potency, and the souls are also expansions of the Lord's spiritual potency manifesting via time. False ego gives shape to illusory material existence. The spirit soul, however, is transcendental to material nature. He can never actually be affected by material happiness and distress in any place, under any circumstance, or by the agency of any person. So we have to understand this. This is very, very important instructions that we can't blame people. We can't blame time. We can't blame karma or fruitive work or planets or the demigods for our distress or happiness. We can only look at our own mind. Right? It all comes from the mind. A person who understands this has nothing to fear from material creation. I shall cross over the ocean of nations by being fixed in the service of the Lord. This was approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the Lord Paramatma, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Lord Krishna says, he concludes now, thus becoming detached upon the loss of his property, this sage gave up his moroseness. And it's an example for us. Because in this world, pretty much everybody is morose, right? They're always negative. They always got a bad opinion of what's happening to them or of other people. But Krishna's here given us an example of this Avanti Brahman who analyzed it. Who is the cause of my happiness and distress? And he's analyzed, it's not people, it's not demigods, right? It's not time, it's not karma, it's not fruitive activities. So who is the cause? Actually, our own mind. No other force beside his own mental confusion. This is the problem. We are confused mentally. Makes the soul experience happiness and distress. So it's the mind. Everything, every problem is coming from the mind. We have to try to control the mind. His perception of friends, neutral parties, and enemies, and the whole material life he builds around this perception are simply created out of ignorance. My dear Arjun, my dear Uddhav, fixing your intelligence on me, you should thus completely control the mind. This is the essence of the science of yoga. Anyone who listens to or recites to others this song of the sannyasi, which represents scientific knowledge of the Absolute, and who thus meditates upon it with full attention, will never again be overwhelmed by the duality of happiness and distress. So this is a really fantastic chapter because Krishna's given practical experience of an example of the Avanti Brahman who has analyzed what is the cause of my happiness and distress. And he's boiled it down to one thing, our mind. And the mind is very, very hard to control. But Krishna says to Arjun, when Arjun asked him the same question, he said to Krishna that this mind is so strong. I am able to control the wind, but I can't control my mind. So Krishna then answers him that, yes, you're right, the mind is strong, but it is possible to control the mind through practice and detachment. Practice, when we are chanting our mantras, the mind will go somewhere. You bring the mind back to the mantra, to the sound of the mantra. In that way, you're practicing controlling the mind. And detachment, don't worry. Don't worry. Things will continue. Things will be happy. Sometimes we'll be unhappy. That is life. Be detached. Through detachment and practice, one can try to control the mind through one's intelligence. And in that way, we will realize that actually we are spirit soul. Actually, we are neutral to this material world and we are connected to the supreme spirit soul. And that is the Lord. So I wanted to stop there. Any questions? Any comments?
Yeah, it is very difficult to control the mind.
Mm. It is. It
It's
is.
very, very difficult. I mean, you want to concentrate, but you can't.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know. So,
Yes.
so
But Krishna does
do
say
you? Is
possible.
this Srimad? Sorry, I'm
Hmm.
interpreting.
No, no,
Is
that's okay.
this repeat Canto, or is it like
No,
you
we
have started
continue.
again new one?
Yes, we this is 11. We are nearly at the end of the 11th canto now. And then
Okay.
we'll be doing the last canto, which is the 12th canto.
When we were in the satsang last, then before you
Ah, so we were
went to
at
the
chapter
you
17.
kept going to the
Ah,
holy celebration.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
when was the last one we did it together?
17. We stopped at 17, and now we've for the last
17th March,
17th chapter.
April.
So for the last 4 days, 5 days, we've done quite a few chapters.
Ah, no,
Yeah.
but before, is it? Did you say 17th February
When did we start?
or 17th March?
Yeah, I think it was March we
Oh,
stopped.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I think nearly 2 months. Nearly 2 months.
Nearly 2 months, yeah.
Nearly 2 months. Yeah.
That's why I've been forgetting you joining.
Yeah, no, thank you for joining.
Today I forgot. I kept putting the number. I said, "Oh my God, I can't join. I have to ask you."
Yeah,
I
no.
know it was 5-4. I kept doing 9191, but
Mm.
it was 5424,
Yeah,
99, 991, 994. So
yeah.
I have memorized for a long
Oh,
time
wow.
now.
Okay, okay. No,
So
thank
I
you.
don't have to check. But today I had to
Mm.
ask you.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, how have you been and how's the holidays
Good.
then?
Yes, Lord's mercy, everything's good.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
we were watching all the videos you were sending.
thank
So
you.
that was very good, from India.
Thank you so much.
And the your son's wedding,
Sure.
which was very good.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, congratulations, you and Janti
Thank
Ben
you.
together.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Nothing else, please.
Okay, we can stop there.
Yeah.
So, Shrimad Bhagavad Puran ki